With the tactical shooter genre being a difficult market to become relevant in thanks to the likes of Counter-Strike and Valorant, Spectre Divide was promised to be added to that list of games due to the amount of hype surrounding the game, but now has seemed to be on life support. Spectre Divide is a free-to-play tactical shooter developed by Mountaintop Studios and featured Shroud as the lead gameplay advisor that was released just a few months ago. The game features a fresh take on the genre with its unique 3v3 gameplay and its duality mechanics. Initially, when Spectre Divide launched, it saw impressive numbers hitting a peak of 26,000 players on just its first day. The launch was backed by an extensive marketing campaign, collabs with popular streamers, and built a lot of its hype through beta tests and community engagement. And the future was bright, with players including myself being excited about the fresh mechanics we haven't seen in the tactical shooter space. However, the game's initial success was pretty short-lived, as by the end of September, the player count dropped to just under 5,000 players. And as of making this video, there's now under 2,000 players. The decline was rapid and very concerning, which indicated deeper issues that went beyond the normal post-launch drop-off. A big key factor in the decline was the failure to retain new players. Despite the initial interest, many players felt that the game lacked depth and replay value. Once the novelty of the duality mechanics wore off, there wasn't enough to keep players interested. Additionally, the steep learning curve and complex mechanics may have deterred casual gamers, limiting the appeal to a more broader audience. Several issues plagued the game post-launch, like server problems, which was a major concern, with players frequently experiencing disconnections and lag that negatively impacted the player experience. Additionally, there was a bunch of bugs like invisible walls, glitched hitboxes, and unresponsive controls, and thanks to these issues, it was hard to enjoy the game consistently. Another significant issue was the game's monetization strategy. The devs faced backlash over its cosmetic pricing and the lack of value seen in its microtransactions. Players felt that the prices were way too high and were not justified by the quality in the bundles that led to a wave of negative reviews. Even though the game is free to play and relies on in-game purchases for revenue, it felt like they were trying to nickel and dime the player base. Compared to its competitors like Valorant, the offerings from Spectre Divide feel like a slap in the face when you compare Valorant's bundles that are at the same price point. Now, they did eventually address the feedback and adjusted bundle prices, but the community was already frustrated and further damaged the game's reputation. Another major factor contributing to the decline was the lack of game balance, as players quickly discovered that certain characters and abilities were too overpowered and created an unfair playing field. Due to this, it led to frustration among players that felt the game lacked competitive integrity. The devs did rush out balancing patches, but the damage was already done. Content updates, or rather lack of, also played a role in the game's decline, as after launch, players expected regular updates, new maps, and additional characters to keep the game refreshing like other games would with the popularity the game gained. However, the pace of these updates were very slow, which led to a sense of stagnation, and without new content, players moved on to other games. Now, the CEO at Mountaintop Studios, Nate Mitchell, addressed the concerns in a statement assuring players that the game won't be going anywhere amidst the low player count. He did emphasize that the team is committed to improving the game and bringing new players in. Mitchell also highlighted the upcoming patches that are aimed at fixing server issues and bugs, alongside plans to reevaluate the game's monetization strategy. The community has been vocal about their feedback, and the devs are actively working on updates to improve the game. But despite the challenges, there is still a dedicated core group of players that love the game and continue to support it and want it to succeed. To maintain transparency and to keep the community, the devs have been hosting regular dev diaries and Q&A sessions to help guide the direction of the game. Now, the big question is, what's next for Spectre Divide? The devs have announced plans for a new update that will have new content, including a battle pass, rank rewards, and new sponsors. They are also slowing down the pace that new items will enter the game store to address the review bombing they received over skin prices. In addition, there is a roadmap for upcoming content that promises to bring new maps, characters, and game modes. It's a shame when a game that receives so much hype dies in less than 3 months from launch, but it's hard when your competitors happen to be some of the biggest games in the world, and turning the game around will be very hard. I have my doubts since there's little to no interest in the game, but only time will tell. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching, and leave a like and comment down below if you think this game can be saved. Also, if you enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, as I have more videos coming soon in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.